Well, let's talk road safety. We all have to use the roads at some point. You're either driving, you're a passenger, or you're a pedestrian, or some of us on our scooters. But the point is, we all use the roads, and it's important to ensure that we're safe. Recent accident figures don't look good at all, and you just wonder, what exactly is going on? So just to reiterate some of the safety measures you need to pay attention to, we have joining us on the show this morning, the Sector Public Education Officer, FRSC Lagos State Command, Elizabeth Jayola. Good morning and welcome to the Morning Brief.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
You know, earlier when I was saying welcome to Lagos, as opposed to this is Lagos.
This is Lagos.
Exactly, because you've been in Ondo State.
Yes.
And then you're in Lagos. You've been in Lagos for less than a month.
Yes.
Doing the work. And, you know, the background to this is Lagos has the largest vehicular traffic in Nigeria, in the region. And, you know, we know how it is with vehicular traffic in Lagos, traffic itself is Lagos, and the tendency to have these issues with accidents here and there. So I want you to give us a background about the peculiarity of Lagos State and the traffic. There's a tendency to take it for granted, and then we can extrapolate to other parts of the country because the same laws apply. But what is it about Lagos in the first place regarding traffic, and then we can extrapolate?
Okay, so when we look at the population of Lagos, apart from the human population, we have to look at the economic aspect of it as well. We have a whole lot of companies, businesses here in Lagos. And then you compare it to other states in Southwest or in Nigeria. I think we have a whole lot to do when it comes to traffic. You want to go out, I want to go out. Scooters, motorcycles, and all of that, compared to all other areas where they can actually take public transport easily and get by. Do you understand? Or you can move from your house, maybe with your legs, and get to your work as soon as possible. As to where you move from mainland to island, we don't have them in other places. We don't have island, we don't have mainland. We don't have that distance in other areas. So traffic in Lagos is really a great deal. It's a great deal.
And I know that you are, diving in straight up because, of course, there's a lot of water here in Lagos as well.
God's grace.
But let's talk about the challenges we face. That was just a soft landing of sorts. So the challenges are multifaceted. So a lot of people point to commercial vehicle owners or drivers as largely responsible for traffic and some of these issues we see on the roads, some of them not roadworthy. And we'll take it across board. We're starting with the big ones. Some of them not roadworthy. Most of them don't obey traffic rules. So there's a lay-by for you to park, for example. But most people don't use the lay-by. In fact, the road is the lay-by, and the lay-by is for pedestrian. So you see that, and what you find most times is officials of the FRSC, LASMA, they just look on as though these ones don't matter and focus a lot on private vehicle owners. That is something I have experienced. And you want to tell them, please look at those people, they are not parked right, and you see some of them right beside it. So let's start there. In terms of enforcement, is there a challenge for you to enforce for public commercial vehicles?
I don't think there's any challenge anywhere. As of yesterday in the office, before I left for the Safe to Load program, I saw over 5 commercial vehicles as against 1 private vehicle. So I think in Lagos, what we should look at is the population of these commercial drivers to the populations of the enforcers. That's the FRSC, the LASMA, then, other organizations that are on the road. Do you understand? We can't be here and be there at the same time. You are there, we are here, and we want to enforce here. And there's something happening on the other side of the road. So there has to be, we'll take it a day after a day after a day. And then we keep educating them. We keep educating them. For enforcement, I think we've done a whole lot. Just last week, we had a meeting. The sector commander of FRSC in Lagos State, Co-Commander Davo, had a meeting, a strategic meeting with the members of the NURTW, that's the management level, NATO, the return, the Akomara, to really look at these issues that we're talking about. Do you understand? So we're taking it a day after a day so that at the end of the day, we can have free movement here and there in Lagos State.
I know you say you're new to Lagos. The issue of traffic and what Kayode had mentioned is almost like a regular thing.
Yes.
So let me paint the picture for you. This is what we perceive as the populace. It feels like the FRSC, LASMA, and all the people in charge of transportation, they are really overwhelmed by what is going on the road. You may argue whether you're overwhelmed or not, but this is we speaking what we, saying what we see every day. So at the very same spot, when a private vehicle is committing an offense, that same spot, you see maybe 3 or 1 or 4 commercial bus drivers committing the same offense, and nothing happens. I mean, look, they are focused more on the private commercial because perhaps those ones are more civil, maybe they can get something out of them or what. So these are the issues. So I want us to be brutally honest, because if you guys are not brutally honest, you're not going to solve any problem. It's just going to be having management meeting with NER. They've been having these meetings. How far? So question is, you're not in charge of educating. You're reporting to them based on what you see on the field. So what are you guys going to be doing differently?
Okay, when you say how far, can we compare what traffic used to be in 2020, let's take it from 2015 to 2023, and what it is now? It's not the same thing. So like I said, it's a gradual process. We'll get there. So I go out to do the enlightenment thing. I go back to give them the feedback, and they are, trust me, we are always working. We are always working. As it is, if you go out now, you find our vehicles, you find our men on the road enforcing. On International Youth Day, I was out talking to commercial drivers, not just the private drivers. I was talking to both the commercial and the private. And I made them understand that after this talk, whatever happens, you bear the brunt. Do you understand? So we go out to do the enlightenment and go back to give the feedback to our bosses. And trust me, they are working on it. So don't worry.
No, okay, so I don't know why I'm not impressed with they are working on it somehow.
Okay, why?
Yeah, because I drive every other day.
Okay.
I'll give you a classic example.
Okay.
I come to this show almost every day, and one of the things I always raise is, I don't know whether you're familiar with New Garage, somewhere around here. It's not very far away when you go down to Kara. So these guys, they want to stop and pick commuters or people that are going to different places, maybe Moe, Ibafo, and all of that. They leave the very place they are allowed to park, and they stop. In fact, they cover almost 2 lanes, and this is express. So you, the driver, private driver, who wants to enter the express, you're forced to enter that very dangerous lane. That is one problem. I remember even at OPIC here, I know this is Ogun State, so OPIC here, there was a time I saw the guys made effort. They even created some things to make sure that they don't park. After a while, they got tired. So these are the things we're talking about. It's not as if we've not seen effort. It looks like the agencies responsible have decided, perception, so you have to help me correct that. We will try. If we can't try, we'll just let them be. Is that what is going on?
No, that's not what is going on. No. That's not what is going on. So if you look at it very well, you said New Garage area. New Garage area. I'm going to personally look into this particular area that you're talking about. But apart from that, that area that you're talking about, if you look at it very well, you always find our men around that area, yeah?
No, sometimes you don't see them. No. You see them on the other side.
On the other side of the road.
You see the other side. The very spot where they don't see them.
You don't find them. Okay. I'm going to take it as an assignment from you to the FRSC. And starting from now, we're going to be working on it.
And that's what we want to hear. It's a collaborative effort, really. There's you, the law enforcement, and it says we, the people that we know where the shoe pinches, or in this case, where the buses park, illegitimately. But now let's talk about awareness. Yes, we can talk about these specific scenarios, but I want everybody to leave this conversation with something, right? And let's look at the figures, the statistics of road accidents. It's not been good, really. And we can go as far back as 2022, where we had number of injured at 1,762. Then go to that same year, number of crashes was 4,162. But fast forward to 2023.
In Nigeria or in Lagos State?
No, across board.
Across board.
Yes, and then you see in 2023, that's a year after, number of injured, 2,055, and the number of crashes, 4,709. The point here is quite simple. The numbers are increasing, from the injuries to the crashes themselves. And we know that there are a number of issues responsible for road accidents. So I want us to break it down. I want you, rather, to break it down for us. You've seen these figures. What we see are the figures, right? But you do the investigations, right? You see, oh, this is what was possibly responsible and all of that. So for the benefit of those who always wonder what happens after accidents, what do you do? Walk us through. What are the major factors responsible for accidents that you've seen?
Okay, if we look at the human, the mechanical, and the environmental factor, we all know what those are. But let's look at this particular issue of distracted driving and speeding. I think majorly, in Lagos State, what I've realized is speeding, distracted driving, and aggressive driving. We all want to get to our destination on time. We want to go from Lagos mainland to island in 10 minutes, when honestly it's supposed to take us maybe like 30, 35 minutes. And then you find somebody, call on up for me, you want to get there and all that. This has happened to me. And these are, for me, these are the causes. Speeding, distracted driving, I want to make call, I want to do this, I want to do that at the same time. And there's something I talk about distracted driving. When you are driving, I don't know about when you're in your house and you're cooking and you want to watch TV and all this, but when you are driving, your brain can only function in one space at a time. In one space at a time. You can't, it's a focus thing. You want to focus on the road, you want to check your inner mirror, you want to check the ones outside, you want to be focused on who is coming behind me, who is going, and then you want to make call at the same time. And calling needs focus at the same time. So your focus cannot be in two places at a time. It's a psychological thing, if you realize. So you want to make call, hello, how are you? And before you know it, boom, something happens. And then there is this person distracted while driving and still speeding.
It's like the perfect recipe for
disaster.
Disaster.
Do you understand? Speeding. And according to global safety reports, speeding is a major contributor to road traffic crashes, injuries, and what have you. So you need to pull it down on this speed that we're talking about. So in Lagos, you want to speed up, you want to be aggressive, you want to be distracted, you want to talk to this person, you want to all at the same time. And then while I was talking to somebody, he had given that, I want to make call, I want to talk to my customers, I want to do this, all at the same time on the road. So it's a focus thing. You want to focus on your driving, you want to be seen. Before you know it, if your attention is divided or your focus is divided, you're out of the road in no time.
Just to be clear, vehicles these days, and I think we need to reiterate, for people who hold their phones and make calls, that's a no-no. But clearly there are vehicles that come with that function. You just speak it with a button, you're still focused and you're driving. You're certainly not against that.
Okay. And while you're picking, what happens?
No, the picking is actually right there on the steering.
Can you use Siri to pick?
How many hands are you supposed to use on your steering? Why is the steering
Okay, let me explain the vehicle I'm talking about. I'm not talking about a vehicle that you have to press a button for to pick.
Okay, so
it's just where your hand is. In fact, the functionality was put there by the car. Just to be clear that you're not against that.
How many of us have that in Nigeria?
No, I'm speaking to those who have that, just to put those ones in a bucket.
No, the question is how many. Now, when you go back to the accidents that we're talking about and you check these vehicles, do they have the functions that we're talking about? No. They are the ones who use the actual phone to make calls.
So that's the one you frown against.
That's the one we frown against.
So you were telling us more. So we're listening to other things that causes these accidents.
Yes.
Because you're here to teach all of us what we're doing wrong and what we can do better.
And then we look at the case of, we've talked about speeding, we've talked about distracted driving and what have you. And then we look at these articulated vehicles as well. We're currently frowning against those articulated vehicles that carry human goods and still put animals. You say, And then when accident happens, you know why the rate of injuries and death will be high? It's because the horns of those animals pierce through these humans.
Oh boy.
And then, so we are currently frowning against articulated vehicles carrying goods, humans, and animals.
What do you mean frowning against? Because I see this almost on a daily.
Yeah, because there was a time
coming into Lagos.
Yeah, there were times they said they should only move at night.
Right.
How is that going, by the way?
So are you just...
They should only move at night with their goods.
Or you arrest them?
Not with humans. They can move with their goods. Goods can be animals, can be anything, but not with humans. Now, if you take a look at this, I think when my sector commander resumed in May 2024, there was a mobile court done along Lagos-Ibadan Expressway to really get these people, and they got a lot of them. And then there's another one they're currently planning for September. We're doing it with the members of LASMA and other agencies that we're going to be working in, and it's going to be very, very, very severe.
Because I saw this. In fact, you mentioned it, and I just remember.
In fact,
I saw this 2 weeks ago.
Not 2 weeks ago. On Thursday, I was coming from Surulere to Opik around 9 p.m. And I told my sector commander when I got to the office, I said, this has to be done as fast as possible because the numbers are counted.
So that means for now it's not being enforced.
It's being enforced, but you know that we don't come out at night. So these people.
No, the one I saw was during the day.
At what time?
On a Sunday at around 2 or 3 p.m.
In Lagos State.
In Lagos. They were coming from the Long Bridge.
Okay.
In fact, I saw them on the Long Bridge, and it was very concerning. In fact, what made me notice was a bag dropped from the articulated. So one of them had to jump down. They slowed down, jumped down, ran all the way back to pick it.
And there are animals.
There were animals. So it's multi-layered. There's the animal, there's the human, and the bags and the rest. And I thought, wait a minute. And this is what I see on a daily basis. So clearly someone is not enforcing. Because I'll tell you this, the route on the Long Bridge was narrowed. There's some construction going on. So it was narrowed. So the traffic wasn't moving as fast.
That's why we're saying that failure may be too much of a strong word. Somebody's not doing their job because those kinds of vehicles now, they are coming from God knows where.
They've passed through different states.
Different states.
They've gone through states, and I'm sure they've met maybe your people or the police or all of that. So what is going on?
Trust me, this issue, I'll have to take this back to the sector commander, but this issue is something that we are really not happy about. We're really not happy because if you count the numbers of accidents that have happened with the articulated vehicles, we're not smiling towards it at all. So I'm going to take this back, like I took the one I experienced back to the office, and we're going to work on it.
So let's talk about, of course, Nigeria, although we don't know how many we are, but we're assuming we're about 200 million plus. Lagos is in the range of 20 million plus. That means there's no way the FRSC, LASMA, all of you, and even volunteers can even solve the problem in one fell swoop.
In one day.
Technology, how much of technology do you deploy to help your work? Because we're all in this together. Your work is so important because any mistake is life or death.
Death.
Technology.
Technology-wise, we recently introduced the radar gun technology, where the personnel handling it can actually detect a vehicle overspeeding, and they will be brought to, they will be dealt with. And then there is the mobile app that's going to be launched in September 2024, by next month, by God's grace. It's going to be launched, and it has a lot of functions. It has the functions for the citizen. It also has the function of the FRSC being responsible for the citizen as well. So you can actually do a lot of things with the app. The driver's license, the report of what we are talking about here can actually go on the app, and we take it from there. There are going to be people at the back ends who are going to be working seriously day and night, just like we have at the National Traffic Radio as well. So that is what we have now for 2024. We have the radar gun technology, and we have the mobile app being launched by next month.
Let's try to operationalize this radar gun to begin with, and then the mobile app. So the radar gun, use it to, by the way, has it been deployed in Lagos?
It has been deployed in Lagos, and it has been used on the Third Mainland Bridge.
So that's what will be used to check people who are over speeding above the 80-kilometer limit. So this is what happens. You use a radar gun to follow the car. I mean, we've seen, even if people have not seen it, they've seen it in movies, right? And you see, oh, this person is doing 100. So what happens is you have to have a vehicle that is ready.
There's somebody at the other end who is waiting for that driver.
Fantastic. So that's what you do. So you get the plate number and you send it quickly.
You can, through the mobile app now, you can send it quickly to the next available patrol team or the command so that they can check and, do the necessary thing. Flag the person
in
down.
The most professional manner.
In a professional manner.
So this will start in September, you say?
This started already. That radar gun technology already, but the app will be launched by next month. But for the radar gun, they've used it already on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. For Lagos, like I said, they've used it already in Lagos-Ibadan Expressway for the mobile code they had. I was not here then, but I was fed by mine.
Just quickly, the mobile app. So will that reduce the whole your vehicle papers? Because you can just check the plate number, maybe take a picture of it, scan it, and it brings the details. So you see whose vehicle papers have expired, whose license has expired. Is that also incorporated?
You know that before now we have what's it called, a website that you can go on to check whether your license and all that. Yes. So we are going to bring this to the mobile app as well, so you can check for licenses, for number plates and all that, so to know who is who and what is what.
So how can citizens help you do better? Because this is important to all of us.
Join us. Volunteer.
I'm a journalist. I can't.
You're a journalist. Yes, you're joining me by doing the enlightenment.
The how is my question.
You can be the marshal.
It can be the special marshal. It can be the special marshal.
People should join.
Yes, we can have a unit.
For your area, you can join, Jeffrey.
No, we can even have a unit here in Channels TV. Or you can join in your area. Where do you live?
Is that?
Which area?
This area.
Okay,
Lagos.
so I'm sure we have special marshal units around this area, so you can join us, volunteer. And this we're doing as well is also part of what we can be doing, enlightening people on what about road safety.
Do you guys also clamp down? I know you're federal road safety, so do you also clamp down on those terrible vehicles that are not roadworthy? You're driving in some we're having a festival on stage, a chimney, literal chimneys in your face because of the level of smoke we see, although some that's quite reduced. In some places, but you also clamp down on those. We clamp down on.
We call them articulated vehicles. We clamp down on them as well.
Right. Okay. Do you clamp down on your men and women who take bribes, who unlawfully get money?
You don't want to know what happens to them.
We want to know. Actually,
I was a patrolman for close to 9 years, so. It's not something that FRSC smiled about.
Did you ever take bribe?
No, never.
So why are you different from the other ones we've seen?
Why am I different from other ones I've seen? Okay, so it's a thing of the mind. It's a thing of the mind. It's a thing of you being responsible for what you are doing. I'm responsible for the job I'm doing. I'm responsible for my name. I'm responsible for myself. So it's a total, but when they find out, whether by report or by seeing.
How do you check yourself? Because in Senate climbs, I hate to use that word Senate climb, other climbs, you have this cams, either body cam. I know you guys don't have body cam police. So how do you know that your guys are misbehaving, the ones that are mischievous?
The ones that are mischievous are, okay, let's take a look from my own point of view of being a team leader on patrol. I go on patrol and you don't, for me, they know it's the responsibility of the team leader or the squad leader.
Right.
When you go on patrol, you know that it's a no-no for the person you are going out with. And then when you take it, it is my responsibility as well to report you in the office.
And I think this has been a very interesting conversation. Clearly, a lot of work to be done, but we're going to be here, work with the FRSC and ensure that our roads are safe. And you look out for Jeffrey as a special marshal in the coming days. Yeah. How about me? Hey, I'm here for the people. So whatever will help the people, I'm all for it.
I'm going to drag you.
But we have to thank you so much, Elizabeth Jayola, Sector Public Education Officer, FRSC, Lagos State Command. 3 weeks in Lagos. We wish you the very best.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here.